Hello, everybody, and welcome to Director's Vision. I'm your host, Ray C, and today we'll be reviewing the Netflix film Marriage Story. Let's go. So, when it comes to Netflix movies, it can go either way. They can either be really bad or really good. And for the most part, Marriage Story was a decent film. However, I have some valid criticisms about it, and I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just get straight into it. First category is writing. Let's go. All right, writing. So, this film was directed and written by Noah Baumbach. And what do I have to say about the writing? Well, the writing in this film was very, very inconsistent. Okay? My first point is that the film is about a couple going through a divorce. And I think it relies too much on the emotional connection that we all have with divorce. I think that has allowed this film to become bigger than it actually is with regards to the writing, because there's a lot of sins in this writing. Okay, here's the thing. This film is super inconsistent. It has a lot of great scenes that are very well written, but it also has a lot of scenes that are very cringy and full of exposition. First of all, it starts out with a voiceover of the couple telling each other about their significant other or their former significant other, which I think makes sense. You know, and it's riddled with exposition, but it's okay because it makes sense in the context. However, as the story progresses, there is more and more exposition, and it's really, really frustrating, okay? First of all, we are introduced to the mother, and she kind of just blatantly tells us that she's the mother, and it's like, you know, okay, I figured that out about 20 seconds ago. You didn't need to say that. And then number two, Charlie's production crew pretty much exist for the sole purpose of exposition, okay? On countless occasions in the film, they're kind of commenting on the situation. Oh, you think Nicole and Charlie are going to get back together? Oh, no, not this time. I think it's really done for this time. And then, you know, they say things like that, and it's just kind of like they're not really characters. It's just kind of there to talk to the audience, and it's really, really obvious and really cringy. And there was a bunch of other writing sins too, but overall, this film was not terrible with writing, but at the same time, there was a lot of little things and little awkward moments throughout the writing. So for that, I'm gonna give writing a B-. All right, and the next category we got is performance. So most of us know Adam Driver as Kylo Ren from the Star Wars series, and most of us know Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow from Avengers. So going into this film, I thought that this was a solid opportunity for these two to demonstrate their acting chops. And I wasn't disappointed. Scarlett Johansson's monologues were very, very well executed, even though some of the dialogue was somewhat cringy. But at the same time, we have Adam Driver, who did another superb performance. I have to say, going into this, I felt Adam Driver's performance to be really dry, but as the story progressed, I began to understand that this is working for the character, and that overall, this performance was really, really well done, and I was very, very impressed, and I believe that they deserved their Oscar nominations. So with that, I'm going to give performance an A. All right, and next category we got is cinematography, and this is an interesting one because the cinematography in Marriage Story was very, very bland, and so that the whole texture and the color palette of this film is very dim and dark and not very vivid, which I think works with the context of the story because it's about a divorce and it's about, you know, sadness. That being said, because the colors aren't as vivid, a lot of the shots come off as really, really one-dimensional, and I didn't particularly enjoy that. However, cinematography has kind of a saving grace with regard to the blocking of each scene. I think the way the actors move around each scene and the way they're positioned in the camera within the frame, I think is really, really well done in this film. You know, there's one scene where you could see kind of almost a wide shot of the kid in between the two parents trying to rip each other apart. I thought that was a very powerful scene. Also, you can see when they're arguing in the room that they're kind of, just their positions are demonstrating their power and whatnot. I might be overanalyzing, but I thought it was really neat, and I think that was one of the saving graces of the cinematography. So this one was kind of difficult, but I'm gonna give cinematography a B-. So Randy Newman did the score for this film, and from the beginning frame to the end, the score is present. It is wonderful. I think everyone can remember Randy Newman's score from Toy Story, You Got a Friend in Me. So yes, it's no secret that Randy Newman is an excellent composer. His usage of strings and piano throughout this film perfectly undertones the emotional content of this story. So with that, I'm gonna give music an A. All right, and the next category we got is editing. This is another interesting one because I found the editing to be very sloppy in this film at certain points. For starters, there was a couple of different 180-degree rule breaks, which, if you do it in context, sometimes it works. However, it was done in the lawyer scene in the beginning with Scarlett Johansson and Laura Dern, and then it was done again with Ray Liotta and Adam Driver. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but I don't think it worked. I think it was kind of awkward. Next, there was a jump cut in a certain scene that also I felt did not work. She serves Adam Driver with the divorce papers and he's emotionally distraught, right? And so she gives him a hug and whatever, and he walks away to the door. And then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, you forgot your divorce papers." And he kind of turns around and then it jump cuts right to his face, and I felt like it didn't work. It didn't work. A jump cut is very useful in certain situations, but I felt that it was out of place and it just didn't work for the scene and overall the movie. So there was one cut that I did like. At the end, you can see a kind of a crossfade of their two faces on the side of the frame. So that was one good cut that I particularly liked. But at the same time, it doesn't forgive these other sins. So for that, I'm gonna give editing a C+. All right, and the next category we got is entertainment value. So personally, I did enjoy this movie. Even though it had some flaws in my opinion, I did end up enjoying it. However, for someone who likes a lot of fast-paced plots like action movies and stuff, I feel like this film would be a little bit too slow for someone like that. This is for people who want to get in touch with their emotions. That's really what this film is. It is definitely a tearjerker film. So with that, I'm gonna give entertainment value a B-. All right, and the next category we got is artistic quality and originality. So I wouldn't go so far as to say that this is the most original film that I've ever seen. However, it scores major points for not following the typical romantic comedy storyline of, oh, these two people meet, they get together, they start to love each other, and then they break up. All right, we've seen that in so many different movies, and frankly, I am sick of it. Okay, I'm sick of the romantic comedy storyline, so it scores major points for not following that. It's about a couple that is just going through a divorce, which is great. And each character was dynamic and complex, so it scores points there. However, that being said, there was some major issues with the writing and the editing, and the cinematography was a little bit bland for my taste. So with that, I'm gonna give artistic quality a B+. So overall, I believe Marriage Story was a decent film. Do I think it was deserving of its Best Picture nomination? Absolutely not. I think it was lacking on far too many fronts, specifically the writing and the cinematography, to even be considered for Best Picture. That being said, the performances led by Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson, and specifically Laura Dern were outstanding, along with a musical score by Randy Newman, really pushed this film forward and made this film worth watching. So overall, I give Marriage Story a B+. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, in the comment section below, let me know what you thought of Marriage Story and what you'd like to see me review next. Anyway, until next time, I'm Ray C.